argument. The honeymoon's over between John and I.
Oh, no.
We have the Register of Voters of Shasta County, Clint Curtis, here.
The one and only.
And I wanted to say that I didn't get real involved with the elections the last few because there's too many other people that are involved, and I just kind of stand back and observe. But I did go to the election office 2 or 3 times, and it didn't feel very comfortable. I went in one time and delivered my ballot here since Clint Curtis took over, and it was warm, welcoming. Everybody smiled. I mean, you just felt the confidence that we had a transparent, open election. And we wanted to get Clint in here to tell us how happy he is, how smooth our election went.
Yeah, so I went down and just voted on election day, and I saw Clint down, and it was a well-oiled machine. I loved all the cameras and how you could see everything, and it was a different vibe.
Oh,
I
gosh,
gotta admit,
yes.
There was no weirdness. It seemed like it was a nonpartisan.
Come in and vote.
Yeah.
Your vote counts here.
The key is everybody can see everything, so no one really has a lot to complain about. I mean, you've got some whiners out there that will complain about everything.
You can't please all the people all the time. That's impossible.
You
They're
can
almost-
try, but
yeah.
you can't do it.
They're almost intentionally not pleased because, you know, we've had the same people that whine show up, sit down, watch the thing. If they have any questions, I'm there to answer it. If they want to get closer to the action, we actually had the observer stools right next to people, like 3 feet away. So
Yes.
you could see everything. And which was a small disappointment for me because I wanted to fill those. You know, I had 18 and 5, I had 23. I had 23, 24 chairs out there for everybody to get right in there. I only had one person that wanted to sit there, and they only sat there for about 10 minutes. And they go, I'm good, and walked out.
Well, that's actually good.
The cameras for me was what made me feel just like this is really, really transparent.
Yeah. And you had the live stream, so anyone could watch
Yeah.
it at home, which I heard a lot of people were doing it. And in fact, it actually was making it slow down. So if you were on there about
Oh, there was too many people watching at once.
11:30 or midnight, you started getting a little choppier because the bandwidth was so high because there were so many people watching it. And so, you know, that slowed down a little. We're going to have to push a little more on that, get a little more bandwidth from them. But we put in a gigabyte on our end to push it down, which should have been more than enough. So it had to be somewhere on one of the other servers.
Well, you know, that's really good when a lot of people are watching because there's a lot of people that are interested. We've got a problem in our government that people haven't been paying attention, and that's why we're at city, county, state, federal. People are waking up.
Well, they can definitely see everything that we're doing right now. We fixed all of the ballot issues, so where they had abilities to stuff ballots in beforehand, the front load or the rear load. Everything is sealed now. Oversealed. You were there, you saw all the plastic containers, all see-through, so you can actually see what's in there. Everything's sealed 4 times, logs for everything. I'm hoping someone will ask for the logs because I got logs out the wazoo. And so...
I know, you do all that extra work, you're like, is anybody going to ask for this stuff?
Exactly, exactly.
If you're going to complain, I've got it right here. Bring it on.
More logs than you ever would care to see in your whole life. And
So are you talking chain of custody stuff?
chain of custody logs.
Okay.
So every time a ballot had to move, even 3 feet, because you notice everything is within 3 feet of everything else.
Yeah.
So when something moves, it had to be sealed and tagged 4 times with physical tags on every movement that was over 3 feet. So after it went through the Agilis, which does the initial short, it then goes into these tubs, which are 3 feet away. They get locked up. After it goes in those tubs, we have to do signature verification. And so signature verification got done. You know, it is a slow point because you have to go through and look at all the signatures.
Yeah.
We were going to do some computerized, but we didn't get the contract in time. I don't know why. 'cause we started
Computerized
years ago.
signature verification?
Yeah, it takes out the easy ones.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
like the stuff that, you know, everybody's going to agree on. And then everything that you don't agree on, kind of, that's what you have to look
How
at.
many people are checking the signatures?
3.
Okay. How many did you have that say they didn't agree and they had to go to who was the final judge?
Well, basically, if they can't agree the signature's good, then you go into the cure process.
Okay.
And the cure process is you write the voter and you go, we can't tell if this is you or not. Can you come in?
Or if you're signed
or
up
something?
to get the email.
Right.
then you get
Get it quicker that
an
way.
email also. Yeah.
But you also get a letter if you don't do that.
Yes.
Is this something you came up with yourself, or is this something that happens?
This is actually election code, so I don't know if it was ever being done before, because a lot of things that should have been done weren't being done.
My
Yes.
signature was questioned, and I think it was in 2022, I believe. And I got an email from the state because I was signed up to get that email. So I got an email, and it says, "Hey, your signature was
little weird.
questioned." And then I went down there, and I said, "Well, it looks the same to me." But anyways, I filled out a thing, and then I checked later, and it said that my vote was counted.
Right. Yeah, if you come in and you cure it,
Yes.
even if you sign it badly.
It only took me like 5 minutes.
Yeah. But even if you sign it badly,
Yes.
if you cure it, it has to be counted. So, and that's signature verification is a real problem in some states like Maricopa County or in Arizona. They had this issue where they were letting everything through, particularly in the Kerry Lake race.
Sure.
And people were signing it with smiley faces and hearts or just drawing lines, and then
They didn't take it seriously.
they took every one of those and didn't question one. So there was really no signature verification in Maricopa County. They were just taking whatever they could take. And that kind of made the difference in that race as well. So, but we don't do that. We will actually do it even though it has limited functionality.
Yeah.
Because your signature verifiers have a 3.5-hour class on how to determine if the signature is valid.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who's actually doing this for a living, who a professional really knows how to do it, it takes 3.5 years worth of a college course with multiple tests, and that's how they learn to do it. So the way the state does it with signature verification, a little less than perfect anyway. It's basically, does the eye look correctly?
I like the
Circular.
idea of having. So what's this signature verification scanner? Does it use like AI or?
Yeah, something like that. It basically
Yeah.
looks for what.
Because I'm not opposed to having that as a backup to the people, and I understand that things can be rigged, but like I have a security camera I have 5 security cameras on my backyard outside, and those guys use AI to kind of filter things out. So I'll have like a cat jump up there, and it still sends a message to my phone and says, "Hey, there's some movement in your yard," and I look at it, and it's just a cat, but it doesn't show it as a threat or call the cops or anything. The AI system knows any type of movement. It sends me the video, but it doesn't set the alarm off or anything. So it's really
Doesn't turn and
cool.
say, "This cat is about
I'll
to
be like,
rob you."
Yeah, exactly. It's just some cat, or say the wind's blowing and a tarp's blowing around or whatever. The AI system can tell the difference between that and like a human that's actually inside trying to, or just a movement of a human, which
Right.
is really cool.
So it basically just gets around that everybody would agree with. So that's what the software does. But we didn't get to use it, so they had to do all. And we did 65,000 voters this time. We were expecting 30, maybe.
Wow.
And what do we've got? 85,000 registered voters
No,
in,
there's 120
120.
now.
the city of
Yeah.
Reading?
No, in the whole county.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's right. We did a
Because we
county
had the
vote
statewide
also.
vote,
Countywide
Yes.
race. Yeah, those guys count too.
I didn't get to vote on the freaking city on Measure A.
I guess you don't live in the city.
My gate is at the border, so I'm in the
is it?
county. But once if I'm talking to you on the other side of my gate, then you're in the city.
huh?
Yeah. But I have a business in the city. I was like, I can't. Oh well, whatever. It is what it is.
So
Well, a bigger problem is, if you live in the county, you probably shop in the city, and so that tax
Yes.
would have affected you either way.
Yes, But whatever.
Legally, it's just the city that.
Yeah,
votes on
yeah,
your
for
taxes.
sure. I get it.
So-
I'm in the same boat. So you were satisfied with the way the election ran, your department and everything?
Yeah, everything was good. The staff was a little reluctant along the way. There was a little stall, but they eventually got into the flow. So it was a little slower.
Well, it's a
little
new
sluggish.
system.
Right.
And it takes a minute, and
Exactly.
hey, this is working.
And no
and-
one wants to change. No one ever
Sure.
wants to change.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've been doing it this way for 5 years. Why would I want to do it different? Well, because the way you're doing it wasn't that great. You're
Yes.
getting sued all the time, and no one trusted it. And so, but they caught on, and they did real well. I had some people that, didn't want to be on camera initially, and towards the end, they were like movie stars. They're up there giving interviews to the press. And it's like, so it just takes a little to get used to it.
Well, sure. Yeah, I've asked people to come on the show, and oh God, no. In fact, I've got a fellow that's going to come in and sit with us for a show, and he'll get comfortable, and he'll come in, and he's quite knowledgeable about some of the things that have gone on in the city that I would like to get out and people can listen to. But I'm really happy with your job and the way the election went. You know, there's complaints that it wasn't counted fast enough, but I remember the last election. Well, we're going to have another drop a week from Wednesday. We're going to have another drop another week. You know, and they just kept you up in the air for, geez, it seemed like.
Everything is counted. What we're doing now is we have to wait for the final curing. So if people get all the way till almost December before they have to actually send in something to get cured. So we can't certify until that time has elapsed.
I don't know what curing is. What's a
Curing is provisional ballots. You have a provisional ballot, and you have to check the provisional against the vote record to make sure they didn't vote twice.
Okay.
Because they send ballots to everybody and their dog, and really their dog in California. Because if you read that story, the dog had been voting for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, there's some town, someplace in Central California, the dog's the mayor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And we could probably use him.
I mean,
Probably does a better job, right?
I can think of a few politicians that would vote for a dog over them.
But anyway, so everything's done, everything's finished. You know, we had a big influx at the end, so we had to do signature verification. But as far as the process itself, they just cranked that out.
The influx at the end, you mean like people voting after work on election day, or
No, voting with the mail-in ballots.
Oh, so, and how long can you accept those for after? Isn't it? Can't you get it like after? It just has to be postmarked by election day, or
It has
how
to
does?
be postmarked by election day.
Okay.
The law says 7 days. Court cases have stretched that to 10 days to take into account weekends. So essentially, you know, it's a little extra than you would think. So.
Okay, so
the ballot to get
technically
there.
you could send your mail-in ballot 10 days after the election.
Oh, it wouldn't be counted then.
Oh, it wouldn't be
It has to
counted.
be postmarked on election day.
Oh, postmarked on election day, and it can take up to 10 days to
to
show
10
up to
days,
you.
right.
Okay, I get it.
So if the mailbox is really slow, which it never is, then, you know, but we still have to follow the rule. So, you know, they wait that time. And so it wasn't until the 14th that we could actually have that cutoff when, you know, it doesn't matter if it comes
Did
in
you
after the 14th.
get any after the 14th?
No.
Okay.
Actually, we did. We got one postmarked the 10th. So that's a little late, guys. You know,
Absolutely.
we did get one postmarked on the 10th, but not many. Most people understand and saw what to do. And,
Well,
and
you
I was
know-
real impressed with the public because I have been told that there was a lot of animosity and a lot of fighting and a lot of everybody hating each other.
Yes.
And, you know, you had that big spiked fence going down the middle of the room that you put the observers on so they can't really observe anything.
Yes.
So we got rid of all that. And we put in the observer lounge so people could sit there and watch everything while eating pizza and eating cookies, right? And what happened was we had no problems at all. No fighting, no anything. Everybody was there, Democrats talking to Republicans.
Yeah.
Hard lefties that I don't think are Democrats, think they're a little farther than that. But and so they're sitting there eating pizza, sharing pizza with each other. It was like
That's awesome.
amazing, you know. And then I had one employee that still wants to continue the war, I think, a little bit, you know. And so, you know, she had to have security. We had no security at election day at all. Nobody. No security guards, which you might have noticed, which changed the tone too. If you have six guards around, that just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
We had a couple of deputy sheriffs that, you know, sat in the back in case we did have any issues. No issues. They had to sit back there and entertain themselves for the whole time because there was nothing for them to do, which is a good thing. I'm sure that's what they want. Nothing to do is a great thing. So we gave her security guard to follow her around. But other than that, nothing. And of course, there's nothing happening with that. So I don't think she's going to ask for that next time. I think she'll be comfortable with the fact that I guess I don't need a security guard because no one's really fighting anymore.
Yeah, so they tried to kick me out, and I wasn't doing anything but trying to be an observer, and they sucked the sheriffs on me. And they said, hey, we got to go outside.
This time?
No, this was in, I think it was in 2022. But anyways.
Definitely not on my watch.
No. But then I talked to the sheriffs. It was me and my son I think my son was around 9 years old. So that might have 2020 actually. I think it was 2020. And but so they sucked the sheriffs on me, and then I talked to them for a while, and then they went in and they said, hey, you better give this guy a name badge. It's his constitutional right. So it was pretty cool.
So they figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they were so. Well, there's a lot going on before.
Yeah.
They were afraid of the public watching. And I know there's some, especially with bureaucrats, they're afraid that the public will see them do something wrong, even if it's by accident.
Yeah.
But that's okay. If it's an accident, you fix it. You don't try and cover it up.
Sure.
I tried to show them what was going on. I took a little box and I wrapped it up pretty and I put a bow on it and I set it in the office. Didn't tell anybody who it was, what it was for, right? It was there about 3 days before somebody opened it. Didn't ask, just opened it, right? But that's what the elections are. The more you hide, the more you leave it in that box, everyone's going crazy. They want to know what's in that box. Once they open it, there was nothing in the box.
It's right out in the open.
It's right out in the open. And so you don't have that problem. And so what they're creating when they put spiked fences up or they lock people away
What
is
are
this
you hiding?
whole, what's in the box? What are you hiding?
Well, I've got a good friend, Thomas Hildebrand. He went up this last election, and he told me that they put paper mache or whatever, around the windows. He said he's tall. He's about 6'4". He says, I'm the only one that could look over it. Why would they do that?
Where was this at?
At the election office, the last election.
Oh, they're hiding something.
Well, there you go.
They've got a box, and they've got a little bow on it, and they're not going to show you what's in it.
And there's a master lock on it.
Exactly.
Did you get any bad ballots? Did you have any ballots that we can't count this? Or
Yeah, we had a few where people, we got an amazing number where people actually didn't mark the ballots.
Is that right?
They'd mark Proposition 50, but they did not mark Measure A, which I found very odd. I mean, you only have 2 races. How tough is it to pick one, right? So you do have a lot of undervotes there. Really bad ballots? No, we didn't have anything we couldn't count. So
did you catch anybody trying to cheat, vote twice, or anything like that?
No, not a one. And we actually, you can't stuff ballots. Before, they would take ballots and they put them in this room, which wasn't under camera, and the ballots were just left open for a week. Anybody could go in and insert anything they wanted to, and some of your past elections look kind of like that's what happened. 'Cause
Sure.
Generally, an election is flat. Generally, when you get your first set of ballots in from your mail-in, it's going to be that way. It may fluctuate 2 or 3 points tops.
Sure.
Right? And if you look at the election results on this election, it's exactly the way. 69 one way, 68.5, 69.2, all the same, right? But in some of your past elections, you'll see like a huge, like a 10, 15 point difference in the initial. And then it levels out. So people are playing catch up. And that's usually indicative, because I've done all this vote fraud stuff for a million years, that's usually indicative of a front load where people are going in and inserting ballots into that before it goes through the machine.
In other words, giving them a head start.
Yeah, giving them a big head start, right. Actually influencing elections. So
There you go.
So, your election day stuff, our machines, we did the 1% manual audit. We did it differently because before they were letting the computer choose who was going to be the precinct we looked at, which is really bad. I mean, it's allowed, but you're letting the computer choose who it's going to check from the computer.
You're letting the person that programmed the computer pick.
Right.
There you go.
You're assuming nobody talks. Well, that's a bad assumption. Let's assume everybody talks and make it so they can't, right? So we went to the ping pong ball method, which is, you put them in like a little container, you shake them up, and then you pull your ping pong ball out, and that's the ones you choose. So
Did anybody get in a fight over who gets to pull the ping pong ball out?
I have to pull the ping pong ball
It was
out.
your turn.
Unfortunately, no, that's the code. And I didn't like it because what I wanted was like a big spinning wheel and a Girl Scout to spin it.
Yeah.
But, something a little more cool. But, the code says that I had to pull the ball, election official, so I pulled the ball out and did it and had other people shake it. And we had a whole bunch of people there so they could see behind my back pulling the ball out. So we had all our witnesses in there. And, but we did our 1% audit. It was dead on, which is a good thing, but
What more could we ask for?
what more could you ask for? And the machine can't cheat you anymore. So there's a lot of concern about the machines being able to cheat. People hacking them, people getting into them, maybe even the vendor, although I was always squishy on the vendor because a lot of my research and a lot of my stuff I've done shows that it's a little bigger than that. We had a race down in Texas 22. And at 8:34 p.m. on election night, the Democratic candidate and the independent candidate had exactly the same number of votes in 8 counties with 3 different vendors.
And how many?
Wait, you're saying
talking
each
200?
county was tied exactly? Or
Yes, each county was tied exactly. So
That's like getting struck by lightning like 5 or 6
It's
times in
impossible.
the same day.
absolutely impossible. 3 different vendors. So for that to happen, the vendors had to
Yeah.
be coordinated as well. So I think there's a bigger thing going on there.
I agree with you.
Yeah. But in our election, that can't happen because you now have seen every ballot before it ever went in the machine.
Yes.
So if the machine does get manipulated, does cheat, you can catch it, which is the key. People have to actually watch that video. I can give them a video, but if they don't watch it,
Yeah.
it's not going to help. So I need some people who want to actually count that and actually pick a couple precincts and
Yeah.
find it and count it. And
Especially when it comes down to 2 races, one person with a couple clickers, right? Click,
Right.
click, click, click,
Right.
click, 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 click.
I heard you click twice.
he could have done it too.
So
Back the video up. We'll check.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
we machine counted all the ballots. Did we hand count them also?
No.
Okay.
We're not allowed to hand count in California. In fact,
Okay.
when the Board of Supervisors...
But with the recording of it, anybody can technically hand count,
everybody can hand count,
right?
Sure.
which is the key. If you want to hand count it, you can do it. I just can't do it.
Now, what if I hand counted it and I found 3 votes off? Where do I complain?
You complain to me. You tell me what you're on, which video you're on. You can mark it as the time. They're like,
And you
Timestamp?
check it
yeah,
out.
it's got a timestamp. The problem is that I thought it was going to be timestamped differently because all the versions I used before was OBS has a timestamp right on it. But the version we're using now, because the AV capture has to use an older version, that's what
Yes.
they wrote to, it didn't have that in there.
Okay.
So you can get it in there with a script, but I thought that would be a little suspicious. We wrote the script and had to put it in there.
There you go.
So instead, we went and bought some clocks on Amazon, and so we have the time up there now on the
Cool.
clocks. So
Are you satisfied with how fast you got the election counted?
yes, I wish we would have been able to do the other part though, because what I wanted was to give people in the precincts to do that sort ahead of time.
Yes.
On camera, and then when it came in, it would already be sorted.
There you go. Yes.
Because when it came in this time, we didn't have that, and so we had to sort them before we ran them.
Was this because we didn't have the cameras at the precincts, or what was the holdup?
Well, we didn't have the cameras at the precincts. Plus, I was trying to get the people to come in and do it, and I was hitting all kinds of county rules. You can't do this, you can't do that.
Gotcha.
So we got to change all that. You know, I've got to be able to get people in there that can count, but they shouldn't have to be there 16 hours and then do the count.
Yeah,
So I
for
want
sure.
closers to go in to help the people out who are, been there all day, to help them close up, and to do that count so everything comes in nice and quick.
So it's not necessarily a volunteer issue. It's just how do we do it legally?
right.
Issue.
We have to follow a few
Jump over
more-
the hurdles
jump-
and
jump a few
through the
more
hoops.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So once we do that, we'll be fine. I'm pretty sure we can get that done by the June election. So
I know. I don't know where we're at with this, but I know a lot of people are like, "Hey, where are we at with the voter rolls? Are they getting cleaned up? Have they been cleaned up? Or is it still is it something that's doable, or has been done, or where are we at with cleaning up the voter rolls? Or were they dirty?
we are nowhere with cleaning rolls because basically the state controls them,
Okay.
which is part of HAVA. So I've been trying to get my connections who, talk to Trump and folks to actually take that out of HAVA and push that back down to counties.
What's HAVA?
HAVA, that's the Help America Vote Act, which I've always called Vote For You Act because that's what it does. Put the
Okay.
machines in so that you could,
It's always the opposite of what it
always
says,
is, isn't
right?
it? Clean air, smoke in the air. There you go. That's okay. So just the way it always works. But that's actually a federal law that let the states take over all the voter rolls from the county. So they can make their own rules, and of course the DOJ is already fighting with California because it's pretty poor at taking care of those, and other counties that weren't even trying. So the DOJ is working on that now. Hopefully they'll get that fixed up. But I would like it pushed down to the counties and have criminal penalties for the ROVs if they don't clean those rolls.
Okay, now somebody receives a ballot at home for their great-great-grandfather that died in the Civil War. What do they do with it? What can be done? What if somebody fills it out and sends it in?
Oh, that's fraud.
Well, if they fill it out and send it in, it should have a signature. And the signature verification would catch it.
My great-grandpa was
Hopefully.
illiterate.
Oh, was
I
he?
referred to
So
him
he
as
signed an
unlettered.
X?
It's an X.
And you witnessed it. Because that's all you have
well,
to do.
I filled out his ballot for him
you-
because
if
I
you-
know how he would have voted.
If you put an X down and you sign it, it's going to go through. That's how bad it is. If you contact me, I can contact the state But essentially what they do, which I think is odd, is even if they know this guy's dead, right?
Yes.
Or is he still alive? I wasn't sure.
Well, he comes and talks to me sometimes.
Okay. Semi-dead. Okay.
In between.
If he's dead, they will only put him on an inactive list, right? So,
Really?
yeah, he's inactive. So when he votes again, he comes back into the system as a voter.
And he's active again.
Yeah, and he's active again.
Is that like in case he's like the next Jesus that rises from the dead? Just in case?
I think it was designed to keep people from sending things in that were fake and then keeping people from voting. Because in California, there's two ways to do things. You can either have easy access or you can have security. And they don't match. The more access you have, the less security you have. You know, if you don't lock your door, everybody can come in.
Yeah.
If you lock your door and hand out a couple of keys, only those people can come in. But if there's someone who should come in who doesn't have a key, he's not coming in. And so California has erred on the side of access. So they want everybody and their dog to vote. Their dog, right? The dog did vote. And so, in a sense, they've thrown security out the window to do it.
Sure.
So that is the problem. So you need someone who cleans these. And I'm pretty sure dead people should not be inactive. They should be removed.
Sure.
And then if they do vote, we need a full investigation as to
We need some
how they
teeth
manage
in our
that.
justice system.
Right. We only had one vote that came in that it actually went through signature verification because it looked real good to me too. I mean, they showed it to me. But this girl said that she didn't vote. She's off to college. So the theory is maybe somebody in her family voted for her. And we said, well, you give it to me. You come in, you give me that statement. We will let you vote. And we will send this off to the Department of Justice and to California's Attorney General. Well, she didn't want to do that, right?
Well, she didn't want her family member
She
to
didn't
get
want
in
her family
trouble.
because she's pretty sure, I think, who voted for her.
Probably her mom.
Could be. I mean, the signature was really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, if she would have continued with it, we
Yeah.
would have processed it as a stolen ballot and as a, the whole 9 yards. So she
You
didn't
just
want to
had
do
the
that.
one.
Just had the one.
You know, I've got a real calm, easy feeling about our elections. I feel confident now.
Well, they're going to be right this time.
Yes, disappointingly. You couldn't have cheated enough to get measure 50 to fail. Now, let me ask you
It
this.
failed tremendously in this county.
Boy, didn't it?
70-30.
Yeah,
Let me
Prop
ask
50.
you this now. The heart machines,
Yes.
are they hooked to the internet?
Well, you don't really know. Technically not. Technically, they have their own little hub, and that's how they connect. But you never know what machine actually hooks to what. And hooking to the internet is a different question than are they hooked to anything?
Yeah.
Because the internet is a couple of protocols. All the internet is languages, right?
That's not Bluetooth. It's not.
It could be Bluetooth, it could be satellite, it could be radio transmission. There are 1,000 ways to connect.
Could be Nick and John.
It could be anything.
So
that
you can
plugs in.
testify and say it doesn't connect to the internet, but they're not saying
They're not
can
saying
it
it's
be
not
connected?
Yeah, it is connected, and that is the problem. Because they say, well, there's a gap, there's an air gap. It's not plugged into the internet. Are they from the 80s? Because we've had air gaps working since then.
Sure.
Satellites,
Sure.
your cell phone, all that. Is your cell phone plugged in anything? You have to walk around with a cord? No. So the whole thing, there's a lot of ways to talk, so we don't really know. The issue is, can we keep that heart machine from doing anything bad, whether it's connected or not?
And that's why we need a professional like you there. You can spot that stuff.
Well,
I believe that. I'm serious.
and you can spot it too because we have the video before it ever got in the machine. So you actually can see every ballot before Hart caught it, before they counted it, before they did anything. So if you match that video to what it said it counted, you will know. So honestly, it doesn't even matter if it connects to somebody else. You have 50 people watching it.
Yeah, they would have to physically change the piece of paper to
They
be
have to
able to
physically
pull it
change
off.
this video and the one that follows it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the reason you have the one that follows it is because now you have two. Mm-hmm. If we do it the way I want to, we'll also have a camera at the precinct, and you'll see it before it ever leaves the precinct. Once again, when it comes from the precinct, and then once again after it goes through tabulation. So you'll actually have 3 videos to go through.
So you were going to have the votes counted in 2 hours, and it took 3. What's it going to take if there's 25 different votes on a ballot?
That makes no difference because it's all the same process. You're still recording it. 2 votes, 25 votes records exactly the same on a video.
You're going to be able to count them just as fast?
Well, because the signature verification is really,
That's the
it's
slowdown.
going to be the same.
Yes.
And then once it goes in the machine and counts it,
just-
and it's going to be under camera, and then it's
Right.
going to go into the machine.
Right. It's
And-
no different.
Okay, good. I asked because that was brought up at a
you could
supervisor's
have-
meeting. He's not going to be able to do this.
You can
so,
have 10,000 votes on there, and it makes no difference. All you're doing is showing the video of it, right?
yes.
Which, if you have a piece of paper with 10 items, you have a piece of paper with 1 item, the video is going to be the same. It's going to be the same length. It's going to be the same size. Everything's going to be the same. Actually, the size could.
And the
Move a
heart
little
machines
because
are
of
going to count
pixelation.
it just as fast, and it's going to spit out the
Spit
results.
out the same thing, and then you have it counted again on camera, so you have those 2 matches. It would take somebody, if they wanted to hand count the entire thing longer,
Sure.
but
The audit process.
the
yeah.
audit process. But other than that, it's done. And the only reason it took 3 hours instead of 2 was because it didn't come in until an hour and 40 minutes late, and they didn't come in processed. So we didn't get our people to get them in there to get it all processed, and they worked hard. We were just a few people short. We were about 8 more people than we had, but they ran through them.
So you need more volunteers for next election.
Yeah, more paid help. It was paid.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You need
Yeah,
more.
I need lots of them. Everybody
Okay.
who wants to do it, because I want to have those people in the precincts that do that pre-sort, and those could be paid help. So those could be people who just go and, get paid their regular $17 an hour, whatever they pay, and count that stuff. They're do 2-3 hours is all they need, and then everything comes back already pre-processed. So we can just run it through. Eventually, what I want to do, if the county will let me and give me the resources to do it, is to not count anything prior to election day. Because like you said, do we know if Heart Machine was connected to the internet? Well, if
Well, we hope not.
If we take internet in the global sense of connected to something, then we don't know. But all the ballots that were counted by that machine, if there is somebody connected to it, they know what the results are. We don't know them, but they would know them. So it is better if we don't do anything ahead of time, because then you can't backload, because a lot of elections are front loaded and backloaded. So I ran through those processes. We tried to get them as close to election day as possible to cover that, so you don't get this last minute surge of garbage. So, but the best thing is to not count any of those until election day. For that, I'd need 10 more machines. And a lot more room, because 10 more machines won't fit in there. If you've seen it, we're a little compact right now.
Well, we just got to do the best we can with what we got to work with. I'm really satisfied with the way you ran the election. Thank you. I think that a lot of people are a little bit calmer and realizing that we've got an honest election system now.
It's only honest because they can see it.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes, it is.
We don't want people to trust the staff. We don't want people to trust me. I know that's a weird thing to say, but trust is nice, but for elections, it's better to verify. Always better to verify. That's why when we're done with this, because there's still that one possibility where I could be the leak, I could be the guy who stuffs ballots. The ROV has a lot of ability to do this sort of stuff, right? So at the end, I'm going to run down, take a polygraph after every election to show that I did not stuff any ballots, that I did not let anybody else do it, and that everything is clean as can be. And then we've taken all the parameters off.
So how much money, what's the budget to be able to put the cameras and to finish doing what you want to do as far as transparency and being able to do what you need to with the cameras at the different precincts?
Well, the cameras are cheap. The cameras are cell phones.
Yeah.
They're like next to nothing. Live stream was cheap. It was only like, would have added another like $2,000-3,000 to the whole thing. So the setup is actually very cheap. It's not expensive. It's not difficult.
So what was your ask and what did you get? It was a lot less than what you needed. I know that.
Right. Well, we wanted to actually buy the machines and keep them, because what we did was lease them, and leasing them fine, except in June, we have to lease them again.
Yeah, and how long is it going to be before they would just be paid off? If you're leasing
Actually,
them versus buying them.
It costs us half as much to lease them.
So by the time you lease them again, you could have bought them.
We could have bought them. Exactly.
I mean, this is just.
Which is the problem, yes.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't think they knew if it was going to be successful or not.
Gotcha.
So they didn't
Okay,
want,
well, hopefully
they were trying
this
to be a
time-
little on the cheap side.
Okay, so how much do you need to do what you need to do?
We probably need I need a bit different building. So
Not counting the building. Can you do a temporary building?
we can, but the problem is there's so much infrastructure that it costs money.
That's right. You need extra juice and
You also-
extra internet
And it has to have
connections.
enough power. So we have to have a building that has good power. That's why I like the Joanne Fabrics building, because it actually used to be a circuit city.
Yeah,
So it was running all the computers all the time.
sure.
So it had all the power. If you go in the back, it looks like a small industrial plant back in the back with the.
How about when we're not using all that juice during the elections, we mine Bitcoin?
You do what?
Mine Bitcoin and make money for.
There you
just
go.
an idea. I mean, if you got all the infrastructure and the power and the computers, I don't know.
I don't know. It might be worth suggesting, right?
You
No.
could use that money to get all the
Okay,
stuff.
excluding the building, how much money do you need for the?
Probably to get 10 more, probably about $300,000. 10 more.
Well, that's only 1 year of renting Dominion machines,
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's
and
really
we
cheap.
own those.
So once you.
Except there are no Dominion machines. They're out of business. So anyone who's complaining that they really like the Dominion machine, they could send the thing through, it's a good thing they got rid of it because it went out of business right before the election, which means all of their machines might have had a lot of legal questions. Is it still certified since the business is now sold? So they actually dodged a bullet by getting rid of those back when they did.
Well, that might be why they got rid of them, to dodge the bullet that was coming.
Well, there are a lot of questions about, how they were doing things and the fact that they weren't very
So another
forthcoming.
300,000, you've got all the machines you need, and they'll last 10, 12, 15 years.
That's the way we use them.
But that would just be a one-time cost, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it's done.
Yeah.
Which-
You will have the live streamer. Live streamer is going to be about 10 grand. Nothing. Your other costs will be actually extra help because we have people doing it as opposed to technology. So there are things we could buy that would sort all this stuff for us, but then it's a little more suspect to do it right. Anytime you let something be automated, you lose the ability to control and check it. So it's better to have actually real people and keep the money in the community.
Now, you're going to have those. Okay, I understand. Well,
There was a question there.
it was a dumb one, so I'm trying to
okay.
think of another one.
You pulled it at the end.
That's right. No, I'm really satisfied with the way it ran, the way it was open. Anybody could go in. There were some three or four people complaining at the supervisors meeting. I got a question for you now. There's a gal that ran for supervisor last time, Suzanne Barrymore, and she is criticizing you quite a bit. How about I line up a debate between the two of you?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah? What do
Yeah.
you think, Susan? You game?
So I think that it's 0.045% of the budget is what you're asking for of the general budget, right around there, which is not
It's just
very
nothing.
much for
Honesty in our
one-time-
elections.
Honesty that people can actually
I can't-
believe in every
Look,
time.
I love all the ideas of the rehabs and all this thing, but we're talking big bucks compared to election integrity. So, I mean, for 0.045% of our general budget, I mean, that's...
Pretty much
I don't
nothing,
think
huh?
that's a big... I mean, especially with it not being... I mean, even if it was that every single time, I would actually be okay with it. But once you buy it... so I'm on the mosquito and vector board. I'm actually president of it right now. But we did an in-house lab, and we used to send everything off to check the ticks for Lyme disease. And there's all these different diseases and all these different mosquitoes, and we trap them and we send them off to UC Davis to get tested. Well, it costs money. You got to send it, and then there's a delay. Well, we spent probably about $165,000 because we had to get another thing to grind the ticks up to be able to not destroy the DNA and all that. So we spent another $15,000. It was supposed to be like $150,000, but we spent about $165,000, and it only about 3 years is what it's going to take before it pays for itself. And then we save a bunch of money after that, and then we can test a lot faster too. So it's like it's not how much you're spending today. It's like, what are you going to spend in the efficiency but anyways.
If we have our own building and we do our own printing in-house, then we'd eliminate all of those issues that were caused by using outside printing. We had remember the hole in the ballot issue?
Sure.
Yeah, we wouldn't put a hole in the
Oh,
ballot.
that was a big deal, wasn't it? I mean, talk about ticky-tacky.
Well, most states actually put the hole over on the edge. But for some reason, California bounces it around everywhere. So
Well, you couldn't see anything with a damned hole anyway, could you?
we could on some of them. Some of the holes were down and actually lined up. Not most of them, because it had like 12 different varieties.
Wait,
See, I
so
could've-
so it comes it comes scrambled all over the place,
Right.
depending on which one on the same election. It's not in the same spot on a certain.
It's just envelopes they do. I don't know. It doesn't really have a meaning. The whole purpose of the hole is so you can look through it and see if they put their ballot in there.
Oh, that was a big deal to some of the failed recall people. Oh, no, they're going to be able to see how I voted.
Well, if you fold it the other way, so the white side's on the outside, you couldn't see anything anyway.
There you go.
But it's still sloppy. Why put it there? So we would put the hole over on the side where most states do it, so that we could actually see if there's a ballot, but it won't ever line up with anything. Also, if you shine a light through them, because they use real thin stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on this ballot, it wasn't things on top of other things, because if you had a whole list of things, it'd fold over, it'd be full, right? So on this one, you could actually look through it. But most states actually have a sleeve that goes in before it goes in the envelope. So you can't do that.
Yeah.
California doesn't. If we
Yeah,
did
and it kind
ourselves,
of
we could do
irritated.
that.
It irritated me because I wanted to go see how my neighbor voted. I was over there at midnight in his mailbox looking at it with my, and I couldn't read it.
How do you vote?
He come and asked me how to vote. He
Oh,
voted
okay.
the same way I did.
So he's over at your mailbox.
Make sure I voted right for him.
There you go.
Well, gosh, I think we've probably gone a half hour or so. I kind of wanted to keep these a little shorter so we don't. Everybody doesn't have an hour to watch.
I got one question, and I'm forgetting it now. Never mind. I had it earlier. I was holding on to it the whole time. I was waiting for.
It's the same question he pulled?
No, so
That was my
there's
question.
been a lot of confusion on the best way to vote, and I know you can't say. Well, okay, so what I was doing before was I was bringing in my mail-in ballot, but then I was surrendering it, and then to be able to vote in person, because before, I believe what they were doing was taking your vote by mail ballot, and it was put into a bin and counted like later. It was counted as like same thing as if I put it in the mail versus voting in person. Now I know this was previous to you, so that's what I did when I went down there, and then I saw, and you're like, no, it's the same thing.
Right.
So is there a better way to vote that's just, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter whether you fill in your mail-in ballot, you're just wasting paper if you surrender your ballot, and
get
it's
other
going to
ones?
be the same, right?
It's going to be the same.
Okay.
It has to be the same, because basically it's tracked with what precinct you're in. So because that's how they sort them. Because it's done by precinct, then you know basically the precinct. You don't know what your name is, at least supposedly you don't. It's got barcodes, and I never trust those things because it's like, what's on there?
Sure.
You can't read them. And in some places like Texas, they have triply encrypted their barcode, and I'm thinking, why do you triply encrypt a barcode? What is the point in that? What are you trying to hide? It's back to the package with the bow on it, right? Don't package it if you don't want me to wonder what's in there. So, but if you mail in your ballot, it will come in as long as your seals are on and you're done securely, not like it was done before, which was all open-ended, then that ballot should be just fine. It's probably going to be counted before the election, unless I get set up the way I want to, and that would be counted on the day of the same way. You would have time to basically check the signature to verify, because that's its only hold up on that one, and you count the same way. If you do it on election day and you come in, if you bring in your ballot and your envelope, so we know it's you, and you hand those in, then you can actually mark that ballot and put it into the box. So it's going to be counted on election day. If you come in and you do a mail-in, basically you do it through the envelope and you stick that in the other little box, that becomes a mail-in. That will not be counted election day because that has to be signature verified because there's no real verification that you're there, right? So that has to be after the fact. So that was that last group that came in.
Yeah.
A lot of people were hung up this time because they would call in to say, well, I've got my ballot, my envelope, and they thought they had to call into the call center. And so they were like wasting their time because they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So
That's why I asked, because there's so many different ways to vote. And to me, it's kind of like, why it shouldn't be this confusing, but I wanted you to clarify. So is there a way or is it all just as safe as the other ways, or what's the best way for you guys to be most efficient, and what's the safest way to vote, or is there?
Well, the safest way, of course, is to come on election day.
Okay.
Because then you don't have to worry about the drop box. You don't have to worry about being cured. You don't have to worry about, did it go through the mailbox? You know, did the mail machine eat it?
Yes.
Because it ate a few of them.
Yeah.
We got them, they were ripped, you know, and then we have to reproduce those and everything. But so the best way is on election day, you show up, you hand in your envelope and your ballot. You don't have to hand in your ballot, you just vote it if you want to. Or you can get a new one, doesn't make any difference. And then you vote it in the box, just like normal.
And you can pre-fill it out.
Sure.
And then just bring it in.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Why couldn't you?
We're going to wrap it up. Susan Barrymore, we're waiting for when you want to come in and debate with Clint Curtis.
Sounds great.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you to take the time to come in here and have
I
a little chat
appreciate
with
you
us.
running a nice, transparent, clean election. Thank you very much.
Best in the country.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Okay.